and she's probably got the most refined teat structure that we've seen in this class, and I think that's a big thing that we also need to work on within our breed, and I appreciate that about her. But a nice, complete, attractive class winner to start with. Then we've got one that's in relation to her frame size is a pretty stout kind of heifer, a heifer that gives you plenty depth of body, it gives you plenty of bone. She walks around the ring very nicely. Probably as we compare to the heifers on either side of her, maybe just want to give her just a little more overall grow. But I do appreciate that moderation of frame, just maybe stretch her out a rib. Then we've got the heifer that comes next, one of the thicker heifers. I appreciate that about her. Probably a heifer that just, as we compare to the two heifers ahead of her, just gets a little more bunched up there in her front end. I'd like to extend her out of her neck, but I like the way she lays into her loin there. Love the depth of body, and she's just a nice heifer. Then we've got a real pretty outlined heifer here that this young man gets put together for us, but probably in relation to her frame size, I'd probably just like to stouten her up just a little bit, but she gives you a real pretty picture from the side. Another real complete heifer that comes in next, real nice and attractive heifer, just as we compare her to the few ahead of her, just give her a little more bone, a little more overall muscle, but you do appreciate the functionality and structural design that she brings to us.
Thank you very much, and here are your results in Class 3. First goes to entry 1892. Miss WCC Olga, 457 over 1. Watkins Cattle Company exhibiting for owners Riley Romero and Watkins Cattle Company of Welsh, Louisiana. Second goes to entry 1379. Female Miss Raptor T, Betsy Bop, 99. WR Cattle Company exhibiting for owner Raptor T Ranch of Wortham, Texas. Third goes to entry 1505, Razorback Farms of Buffalo, Texas. Fourth goes to entry 1597, Herzog Cattle Company of Chilton, Texas. Fifth goes to entry number 1901, Callie Welty, your owner and exhibitor from Alvarado, Texas. Sixth went to entry 1834, Schulte Cattle Company of Brenham, Texas. Seventh goes to entry 1506, Razorback Farms of Buffalo, Texas. Eighth went to entry 1816, Rancho Monte Cristo of Friendswood, Texas. Ninth went to entry 1576, J&L Cattle Services and Circle T Cattle Companies, your owner, of Rain, Texas. And 10th went to entry 1815, Rancho Monte Cristo of Friendswood, Texas. Next we have in our arena our Class 4 entries. These are late junior heifer calves, 1st of March to the 31st of March 2021. This is Class 4.
guys. So in class number three, we're going to talk about who was first and who was second. In class number three, we're in class number 4 right now. We're judging class number 4, but I'm doing a little catch up. So in class number 3, we had Stuart Watkins on the stick with his Miss WCC Olga 457 over 1. And she is going to be a Mr. H. Oxford Rojo daughter out of Miss WCC Donatella. And so congratulations to Stuart Watkins, Watkins Cattle Company. And the owner, actually, let me get that straight, owner is Riley Romero. Owner Riley Romero on that class number 3 winner. And then second in class number 3 was the Miss Rafter T99. That was going to be Miss Rafter T99. I'm going to have to look up and see. She was number 1379, guys, on your book. 1379 on the book. Not 100% sure. I'll have to flip through and see if I can find her in the book. And yep, we tanned. So look on your catalog that we personally have put up on our Facebook page, and you will see Miss Rafter T99. That's going to be a WR Cattle or Brandy Barnes led entry for Rafter T Ranch. That's going to be an M2 BRC captain daughter out of the DB Southern Style 1 over 97. So shout out to B.R. Cottrell for the sire of the Miss Rafter T99, and of course to Dietering Red Brahmins for the dam. So in class number 3, which is the previous class that just finished, that was our second place. So thanks, guys. We are watching from all over the place. And I agree, congratulations, lots of congratulations to Stuart Watkins and Watkins Cattle Company. And thank you so much, Flat Rock, for telling everyone that if they can't be in person, they can watch live and they can see your entries too. Flat Rock Brahmins, we are so excited. We just did some super cool signs for them. So make sure you look for them in the barn. They're not very far from the Brahman Journal booth. So make sure you look for them in the barn. Visit with them and look at their cattle. And we're really excited to have been working with them. Got to keep that power going. Got to make sure we do not run out of power. That's not looking really good. Okay. And then, of course, we are still in class number 4. We're going to go to a little music and see what we have to say. we are to the top 4, guys. We are to the top 4, and what are we looking at here? We're going to try to get those top 4. There you go. We've got those top 4. Sometimes it gets a little hard to move around a few things. So we're on the top 4, everybody. Top 4. And it looks like we're getting to the top 1. It looks like 1414 is being pulled into first. 1414 is being pulled into first. So that is going to be Dakota. Dakota on the stick with 1414. And that is going to be CT Lady Mariana Rhino. He is showing for Broussard cattle. The judge is still walking around, so there's still that opportunity he could change. I believe in second we have that Carrier Cattle Company entry, I believe. I'm not 100% sure. And 1826 looks like it's going to be in second.
And I'm going to start off with a heifer that combines a lot of good things. I think she's moderate enough in her frame size, a female that when you put her into motion, she handles herself very nicely. She's got plenty of capacity and depth, and she's got plenty of thickness to her when you stand in behind her and you step off the side of her, and she gives you a real nice red Brahman breed character look. In a very nice eye-appealing package. Also, as we view underneath her, heifer that's a little more refined in her teat size and structure as some of these other heifers in the class, and I really like that about her. Then we've got another really nicely designed heifer coming next, a heifer that's super attractive on the side. When you step off the side of her here, she's got some added muscle to her and just puts it together in a really nice package. Probably like to tone her frame down just a hair. However, she just does a lot of good things for me, and I really like her. Heifer we've got next, not the most powerful, especially of these top 3, but she's pretty complete. She's functional in her design. She's functional in her angles there up front and there in her hind legs. She could probably do a little better if she was a little calmer today and wanted to a little more used to things. But she's fresh in her conditioning. She's straight in her top line. And when you finally do get her stretched out and where she wants to get and go and move, she's just a pretty complete heifer. Just lacks the overall power of the two ahead of her. Then we've got the heifer coming next, got the length of side, and especially when you view her down her spine there, she's got a lot of red Brahman breed character. Probably compared to the heifers ahead of her, gets a little more off in her balance, a little heavier up front, probably just like to balance her out just a little better. Then we got a real big framed heifer with a lot of bone, heifer that's probably starting to get a little over in her condition, especially there in her brisket, probably gets a little heavier in her navel, but I do like the bone and the power that she brings to us. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Guys, we had class number 4. First place was the CT Lady Mariana. I'm making sure my sound is good. CT Lady Mariana Rhino. That is going to be with Dakota Smith on the stick for the Broussard Cattle Company, Trent Broussard, the owner. That's going to be a TJF Mr. Smoking Gun daughter out of CT Miss Sting and Rhino, 27/7. So congratulations, of course, to Broussard Cattle Company. And then in second place, we had the Miss SNS Shiloh, 59/1. And she is going to be a Maximus daughter. That's going to be a WCC Maximus daughter out of Miss SNS Blair. I don't know if you guys remember Miss SNS Blair. I do. I remember her showing in Fort Worth. She did really, really well. Beautiful, really deep, dark red female. So no surprise that her offspring are coming to the top and winning, especially here at the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo, one of the important events of the year. So that was class number 4. We're getting ready to move into class number 5. Class number 5, we are getting ready to move back into, and these are going to be the animals that are born February 1st through February 28th. So Raul made a comment. So those of you who are watching from home, go look in the comments what Raul said. Raul, I agree with you completely. So what we have asked Houston and what we have asked the ABBA to do over and over again, we can take that comment off. Basically what Raul is saying is that for those that are watching the live transmission, it would be really good if they could put the numbers of the people that are showing on the front and the back, not to use the little hip numbers. And I agree. We did have a rule for a little while that they had to wear a number on front and back, because I agree with you, Raul. It makes it very, very difficult for even us here that know the people to be able to figure out who is who. So I agree, and we will certainly put that to the ABBA and the new president, Barry Smith, The judge, Ignacio, the judge is Brandon Cottrell. Maybe we could answer that question. I bet you we could. We could probably comment on that. So the judge is Brandon Cottrell. So Brandon Cottrell is the judge here with us. Let's see if I can get that response. Oh, there we go. One of my team members did. Thank you so much. I agree 100%. It would make it so much easier if we had those numbers on the front and on the back. Agree completely. And you are watching from Haircut. Where are you from? Not sure which country you're watching from, Haircut. Thank you for watching, though. I've been told that my microphone was just a little, so we're kind of fixing that right now. How's that? I bet that's a whole lot better. I have it in the pocket. There we go. Okay. So we finished with class number 5. I'm sorry, class number 4. We're in class number 5 again. These are our February babies. Really great lineup, and the video is looking awesome. We got some better streaming speed. Again, we can't say enough to say thank you to Heritage Cattle Company. You can see their logos along the bottom. Tomorrow we might want to kind of change that LPC logo, maybe make it a little darker, because on those green shavings we lose it just a smidgy. But LPC Cattle, Elgin Breeding Service, and of course Miami International. We'll be throwing up those people that are our sponsors, so we can sit there and we can remind you guys how awesome they are. They really are absolutely amazing and awesome, and thanks for watching. I'm glad the sound is better now. So glad. Sorry about that, guys. Remind me to keep my microphone in my pocket. Okay, Heritage Cattle. We would like to thank Heritage Cattle. They are having a stall sale. They are having some special semen offerings at their stall. You can also go online if you're not there, and I would imagine you could also contact, oh, that looks really good, Iran. I like that. You can also contact them directly and find out what they have. Then we'll move on to another sponsor. Let's see who he picks. Alrighty, we are going to have, Iran is making that decision who he's going to pick for us. We're going to have Magic City sale. The Magic City sale is going to be Friday, April, I think that is the April 8th. Yes, April 8th at 7 p.m. Magic City sale. If you can't be there in Miami, I know you're going to be able to bid online. I believe it's going to be on Cattle in Motion. And then, of course, we also have the Miami International Show, which we have extended. They have extended the entries. We have put that information in the comments. We put that information in the comments for you guys, so that's a really good thing. And then, of course, we have thank you to Little Pecan Cattle. They're here in the barns. They're over there by the, I think they might be in that purple section. They're over there by the Brahman Journal booth, more or less, so we can point you that direction if you need us to. And then, last but not least, certainly not least in our world, is Elgin Breeding Service. They've been there with us from the very beginning of when we first started live streaming. They have followed us to Mexico, Colombia, everywhere, and helped us be in the arena by providing us the funds to be able to bring our whole team, because trust me, it takes a lot of us to do this. So thank you guys so much for watching. please tell all your friends to watch. I know that a lot of you guys are probably watching on our website also. I'm assuming that we're live on our website too. Plus we have a link that you can share with people. So make sure you share, and let everyone know that we are here. After class number 5, we'll move into class number 6 on the reds. Then we'll go back to class number 1 on the grays. We'll go through all 6 classes of grays, and then we will move to the CAF championship drive. After that, we will go ahead and we will stop the transmission and start back up. We've found that this works just a smidge better for you guys, because that way if you're looking for a specific animal, it is just a little bit easier to do that. So again, thank you guys for watching and looking at these beautiful cattle. We have first right now on the screen, right now here up at the top in the red shirt. I believe that this is going to be a Razorback entry most likely. This is 1511 and she's still sitting in that first hole. Looks like Brandy Barnes is being pulled out. I'm not sure who is sitting in the second hole right now. So we still have about 5 out. Is Razorback been pulled or is Razorback staying in? Looks like Razorback's been pulled. We're pulling up. Let's see. We have 1743 it looks like. Ken Ramsey maybe still in there. Good. All right, that looks great. Perfect. We have first and second in the arena. So first and second right now, okay, the one that was sitting second, the speckled is being pulled. We now have the top 3. We have Dietering. I don't know if we can, let's see. What's the problem? Okay, so one that was sitting in first is being pulled, it looks like. So we have 1685 and we have a Dietering entry. 1685 and a Dietering entry. And I'm not sure what the number is on the Dietering entry. 1685 is, we have the top 2, and then we do have that Dietering Red Brahmans entry. That's going to be 1466 if you're looking in your book. I understand. It's okay when the Brahman Journal gets in the way. Not okay when anybody else does. And it looks like we're getting ready to do one of the presentations too.
This class here, we've got a lot of concentration of quality all the way throughout. A lot of really nice heifers. 2 heifers that kind of rise up to the top in my mind are these heifers here that, you know, they've got a little extra length to them. They've got to, at least the class winners got a little extra length to them, but they've got just a real functional, nice design to their structure. When you view them there in their shoulder, they've got the right angles to their shoulder. And I'm going to start out with the heifer that gives us a little extra length. She gives us a little extra length. She gives us a little extra bone, and I like the way she sets out of her hind hock just a little bit better when you get her set. The heifer that we've got coming next, probably just a rib shorter than the heifer we lead out with. Probably a heifer that biggest issue with her, I'd like to give her a little more set to that hind leg when she gets planted, but I like the overall muscle and design and moderation of frame, and she puts it together in a real nice eye-appealing package. Then we've got a heifer coming next, not the most powerful heifer in the class, but a heifer that when she gets stopped, she gives you a real nice look, nice balanced look from the side. Maybe dress her up a little bit there in her dewlap a little bit and just power her up a little more to be competitive with the two ahead of her. Then the real nice, real fresh conditioned heifer that we've got coming next. When you view her down her top, she's real expressive about her loin. A heifer that probably gets just a little bit straighter there in her front end, and probably just power her up just a little bit as we view her. And then we've got the speckled heifer coming next, a real complete type heifer that's can't pick too many holes in her. Heifer that's probably just starting to get a little bit over in her condition, a little heavier in her brisket there, but a heifer that I really like the nice refined teats that she brings to us.
This class, in class number 5, we had first Moreno Miss Lady Ricache, 192/3. That's going to be a Moreno Mr. Rockstar daughter. I believe he just went into the Register of Renown. You can see that in the March edition of the magazine. And out of Moreno Miss Lady Reba Victoria, Moreno Miss Lady Reba Victoria also was the, had a embryo group, I believe, that did really well. This is Moreno Ranch entry. This is Diana Moreno, and of course Nicholas Moreno was the breeder with the exhibitor as Moreno Ranch. In second place we have the DB Southern Style 1/849. It was a really big class, so congratulations to both of those guys. DB Southern Style 1/849 is a Mr. JS Rouge 140 daughter out of the DB Southern Style 1/439. So congratulations. And of course, the DB Southern Style 1/439 is a 3X HK Oro Rojo. Dietering has used really well. That's been a kingpin of their breeding program. So that is the sire of the dam of that Class 2 winner. So congratulations to those guys. You guys have done just a tremendous job in your breeding program. We're really excited to be moving into class number 6 now. Class number 6 is going to be the junior heifer calves, cab 1/1/21 to 1/31/21. So we're talking January 1st to January 31st. Those are those females. And let's listen to a little music while we watch this class. Alrighty, we are back live and we're going to throw up who was first and second in that last class. So in the last class, which was class number 5, of course, first place was Moreno Miss Lady Ricachi, and that was exhibited by Moreno Ranch. And in second place, we're going to have the DB Southern Style 1/849 exhibited by Dietering Red Brahman. Those were first and second in class 5, and we are currently in class 6. So cool deal. We're kind of getting a rhythm here, guys. This is good. A little rocky start, but it always kind of is that way, just a little bit. Lots of great comments. Thanks you guys so much. Congratulations to everybody. We're going to listen to a little music while I visit with Miss Brandolin. Hi everybody, Victoria Lambert with the Brahman Journal, and I am super excited to be back in Houston, and especially excited to be with my friend Hillary of Elgin Breeding Service. They are one of our sponsors for our live stream. I want to invite everyone to watch and comment. We have all kinds of fun things we're doing during the live stream, and Hillary, thank you guys for being a sponsor.
Absolutely, we're always happy to do it.
And you know what? We have their team, your husband Don, and then the rest of the gang back there working hard, and they are collecting bulls. That's what they do. Amongst other things, they're back home collecting bulls, and they're watching live, and I think they might make a few sneak appearances with us.
Yep, they're back home. None of them got to break away to come down here to the show. So they're all excited to watch live and watch the show, the females and the bulls. And they've got everything set up to where they can watch the show live and comment and show y'all what they're doing throughout the day too.
Yeah, exactly. We have some photos that they're going to be sending, and maybe a little bit of video. Nothing X-rated though. So again, this is Elgin Breeding Service, and there's some really fun, exciting, really great giveaways and goodies. So you want to make sure you stop by their booth. So Hillary, I think it would be so cool that you guys get to watch the show and you know the bulls that have sired some of these champions because you've had them there and you've collected them.
Yep, absolutely. A lot of the bulls that'll be in the ring we've seen, and then a lot of the bulls that will be in the show ring, we've collected their sires, their grandsires, back several generations. So it's always fun to watch how those genetics play into this.
Yeah, and you know what's really, to me, so amazing about this whole thing that we do is that you can freeze those embryos, you can freeze that semen, you can come back and you can look at bulls that maybe were used a while ago and now they're using them again.
Yeah, we have semen that's been frozen for 30, 40 years that's still frozen today. So not only is it frozen for a day or two.
On the red side, I'd have to commend the Red Brahman breeders for doing such a nice job of making these cattle so nice. I'm going to start out the class. I think we've got a really strong top end of these heifers. Heifer that leads out the class, she gives us a little more overall thickness when you step in behind her. She wants to be pulled apart there a little bit more from stifle to stifle, and probably got a little more curvature there to her rib and her loin shape. She probably gives you just a little more added bit of length, and she does so in an extremely eye-appealing package. When you step off the side of her, she'll stop and give you a really nice look. She's got some balance to her, just puts a lot of good things together. Heifer we've got coming next, another really sound and complete heifer, a heifer that as we compare her to the heifer ahead of her, just give her a touch more length and probably make her a little fuller right there from stifle to stifle, but a really nice complete heifer that when you set into motion, she gives you a really nice fluid stride. Then we've got a really nice stout heifer coming next. The heifer probably doesn't have the overall femininity and style of the two that precede her, but you do appreciate how wide constructed she is. Heifer probably want to tone her down there in the point of her shoulder, but other than that, I think a heifer that's got a lot of red meat yield, and she does so with a really nice udder. And then the heifer we've got coming next, a real big topped heifer that's got a real nice Red Brahman breed character, a heifer that probably just gets a little straighter there in her shoulder, probably droops a little more there in her rump. And then the heifer we've got next, a really nicely designed heifer, just doesn't have the overall power of the heifers that precede her.
Right, everybody. So in first, we had in that last class, class number 6, that was going to be the class winner was Moreno Miss Lady Reba Star, 200/3. Again, another Moreno Mr. Rock Star daughter out of Moreno Miss Lady Reba Victoria. So yeah, liking that name. Alrighty, so she was first, and then in second, we had the entry of Watkins Cattle Company. That was Stuart Watkins, of course, on the stick. And second in that class was going to be the Miss WCC Beatrice, 424/1. That's, of course, going to be a Maximus daughter out of the HK Miss M. Oh, sorry, skipping a line. And that was going to be out of Miss HK X-Ray 866. Sorry about that, guys. That was first and second. And now we're going to go into the arena for a show dedication and a Hall of Fame dedication.
Seventh went to entry 1566. Haley Lagarde of Idabel, Texas, your owner exhibit. Eighth
Bob
was entry
Hudgens.
1539.
Bob Hudgens. You can read about Bob if you don't know him. I think we all do. You can read about Bob in the edition of the Brahman Journal. He is having a international show dedicated to him. The international show is dedicated to him, and he also has the Hall of Fame entry.
To be back in this year and for the 2022 International Brahman Show. Each year, the American Brahman Breeders Association dedicates their show to an individual that has gone above and beyond in the breed. This year's no different. This year, we are honoring a gentleman. It's a fourth generation Brahman breeder from a family that's been in business since the beginning of the Brahman breed. Things are notable by Manso in a lot of pedigrees in the J.D. Hudgens family. And as we look at this and as we start thinking about dedicating this international show, our show committee came together and picked Mr. Bob Hudgens. Mr. Bob was president from 2011 to 2013. He serves on the board still today as a past president. He's one that has a world of advice and the history of the breed, the way the association has been ran, and, you know, just a true friend, not only to the American Brahman Breeders Association, but to international breeders worldwide. Know him, know the cattle. You know, he's the one that, you know, helps select the show cattle there at J.D. Hudgens. He's making sure that those cattle come here and prepared over the years. Today, Mr. Bob has his family with him. He's got, I know, some grandkids here that are very proud to have their grandpa here, and especially being dedicated as the 2022 International Brahman Show. And so, if you will, as I make this presentation, put your hands together for a legend of this breed, because this is not the only award he's going to receive today. And but he is one that's well deserving of being for this show being dedicated to him. So, Mr. Bob, on behalf of the American Brahman Breeders Association, would like to present this plaque to you in recognition for your assistance, support, and promotion of the American Brahman breed, given to you on March 3rd, 2022, is dedicating the 2022 International Brahman Show to you.
I want to thank all the international people for coming. This show is very important for the Brahman breed, and we're glad to have you come. Show what this show. And it's an honor to be presented this award. I appreciate it from the association. It's one of those deals. I guess you'd say I'm not very forefront as far as receiving things like this, but I do appreciate it. Thank you. We got one more thing to do. Y'all stay.
Okay, has Mr. Chris Shivers made it in? Chris has not made it. He's in the parking lot. Okay, so I tell you what, is all your family here, Jimmy? Okay, So we're going to have just a minute where Chris Shivers gets in here, because the other thing that we're going to do today, this is a very special year as well for American Brahman breeders. This year, 3 individuals are going in to be inducted into the Hall of Fame of the ABBA. Yesterday, we had the honor to induct in the class of 22 Mr. Jim Williams. Mr. Jim was here with his family yesterday during our annual meeting. And then today, we're also going to be inducting Mr. Bob Hudgens and Mr. Bubba Sartwell. But we want to make sure Chris gets in here so he can give that introduction. So just a little bit more of a break, just letting him get in the parking lot, from the parking lot, and then we'll start that.
And while we're taking that little short break, we're just going to go ahead and thank some of our sponsors. We're going to thank some of our sponsors while we are waiting for that very next, while we're waiting for the next presentation. I've got Iran coming back here. We're going to thank some of our sponsors. So Heritage Cattle Company, they're having a semen and embryo sale there at the ranch and also here in the house. So here at Houston, stop by their booth. Take that off for you guys. And then of course we have the Magic City Sale, Friday, April 8th. Don't miss that one. It should be great. That'll be done in Miami. I want to thank Little Pecan Cattle, Brahmans and F1s. They're from Sweet Lake, Louisiana. If you can't make the show, you're here and watching online because they're awesome. We're going to go back into the arena now. Back into the arena, because it looks like Chris Shivers just made it in the house. Chris Shivers made it in the house. So Chris Shivers going to be doing an additional dedication.
Well, good morning. It's to be here with you today, especially to make one of the most special presentations that can be bestowed upon an ABBA member. Just as you heard, Bob Hudgens is a legendary breeder within the Brahman breed. Today, it's an extreme honor to be able to induct him into the prestigious ABBA Hall of Fame. There's a very limited number of breeders who are in that. In order to establish that, one, you have to have a passion for the breed. You have to be a very honorable member. But most importantly, you have to be a master breeder. And I think that certainly exemplifies who Bob Hudgens is. We have a lot of our international guests here with us today. And many of you have befriended Bob over the years. In fact, many of you might consider that he be called Mr. International, and certainly I couldn't agree more. Bob's traveled the country extensively, whether it be mating cattle, marketing his genetics, or judging shows. He's become a friend to many of you, and we appreciate you being here today to be a part of this special presentation. For those of you on the domestic side as well as internationally, you know the influence that Bob's genetics have. Such bulls as Madison, Woodman, Woodson, and a wide array of other bulls that have influenced the Brahman population around the world. And for that, too, that just further reiterates the fact that Bob Hudgens needs to be inducted into the ABBA Hall of Fame. So with all that, in addition to him being a great family man, in addition to him being a great friend, there's one thing I do want to say, and I thought about this morning. You know, on the outside, Bob might be a little rough, and he might be the kind of guy that you think, I just don't know if I can go approach this guy. But I'll tell you, on the inside, he's a big teddy bear. He's very passionate, he's very lovable, and he's somebody that likes to share the knowledge that he has in the Brahman breed. So with that, I'm not going to further ado this. It's a pleasure today to be a part of this special presentation, along with all of his family and friends, to induct Bob Hudgens into the ABBA Hall of Fame. Please give him a round of applause.
Miss Elisa, can you tell us something about what just happened, what award we have, and what is next?
Yes, we just had the national or our international show dedicated to Mr. Bob Hudgens of JD Hudgens Incorporated, as well as he was inducted into the Hall of Fame, which is a pretty big deal because he's going into the Hall of Fame with many people in his family. At our meetings yesterday, we had inducted Mr. Jim Williams into the Hall of Fame, and here coming soon we will be inducting a third member into the Hall of Fame, the late Bubba Sartwell.
Thank you. Para todos nuestros amigos que nos están viendo en línea y son de habla hispana, estamos ahorita en un pequeño break del juiciamiento. Vamos con las palabras.
We're going to be inducting Mr. Bubba Sartwell. Mr. Sartwell passed away in October, right after our on the Friday during our national show. And one thing about it, he was there the whole week. And just like Mr. Bob and Mr. Jim this year, the passion for Brahman cattle ran deep, not only in himself but in his family. And I'm going to turn the microphone over to Mr. John Coleman Locke to do this presentation.
Thank you, Joe. It's quite a privilege to be here this morning to honor a man who himself and also his family had such a massive impact on the Brahman breed, and in turn had a massive impact on the global beef industry. Bubba Sartwell accomplished and stood for many great things in his life. And ironically, I'm going to do something today that Bubba never ever absolutely was ever able to accomplish. I am going to be brief. We all know Bubba from sales and ABBA leadership, and whether it was a committee report or a sale opening or whatever, he started every one of them by saying, "I will be brief." And there was a lot of mumbling and eye rolling because, let's be honest, we just knew that that was not going to happen. So Bubba's a part of my family. I always knew him as Uncle Bubba. He married my mom's sister, Shuggy. We had the opportunity to spend many vacations together and many holidays together because we were family. I remember one time when I was about 12 years old, we spent time at the beach for Christmas. We were there for several days. We would often play games, board games, watch movies, play dominoes. And on this particular day, Bubba caught me probably twice dealing off the bottom of the deck when we were playing spades. Now my version is that it was just simply a challenge. I wasn't really cheating. I was just going to see if I could get away with it. But if you ask Bubba, his version would have been that I was just a rotten, cheating little SOB. And we all know that Bubba didn't abbreviate things. But I got a lesson that day. I got preached at quite a bit. It was anything but brief. And it centered on Shakespeare's Hamlet. And the quote was, "To thine own self be true." And on the surface, that lesson from Bubba, on the surface, you might think that that means to do what you want, when you want, to be selfish. But Bubba taught me, not just through his words that day, but through his life, what that actually meant. That you had to believe in something. You had to be true to yourself by sticking up for those beliefs and fighting for them. And that leads me to another point. If anyone was in ABBA leadership for the last couple of decades, you might have found yourself on the opposite side of an issue from Bubba Sartwell. And you may have locked horns with him, right? And at some point, I guarantee you, if you did that, you felt special and you got upset. Well, could you imagine being in my shoes? Many times I was on the other side from Bubba Sartwell. Not only did I get upset, but I also had the bonus of being able to go sit next to him at Thanksgiving dinner the next day. So that was a lot of fun. Many people reached out to me after Bubba's passing, and many of those were the guys that would have locked horns with Bubba throughout the years. And they all told me the exact same thing. They said, "You know, I didn't always see eye to eye with that man, but by golly, I respected him. And he always conducted himself professionally." And I know why that is. It's because Bubba was true to himself. Bubba was true to his God. Bubba was true to his family. And I think it's very fitting that we're doing this right now, standing in this arena, because aside from his God and his family, the three things that Bubba Sartwell cared the most deeply about and loved the most was the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo, the American Brahman Breeders Association, and the Brahman breed of cattle, without a doubt. So without further ado, I want to thank you guys. I want to thank ABBA, and on behalf of the Sartwell family, thank you. And it's a great honor to be inducting Bubba Sartwell into the American Brahman Breeders Association Hall of Fame.
It is, since November, I've had the opportunity to speak on behalf of my dad. I wish he was here today with Bob and with Jim to receive this honor in person. The one thing that I would say is, please, as we run these associations and run these organizations, let's not wait till very many more of them pass to gather what's left of their family up to appreciate them. I will say this. Dad did an interview with the Cattleman magazine 2 years ago, and at the end of it, the young man who did the interview said, well, how would you like to be remembered? What's that one sentence that you would like to be remembered by? And he thought for a little bit, and he said, just tell him Bubba Sartwell loved a Brahman cow. Bubba Sartwell loved this organization, and it is the highest honor to be the second member of this family to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. Mr. President, Joe, thank y'all very much for allowing us this honor.
Thank you very much, Jim. And also on behalf of the arena directors, the superintendents, and the livestock committee here at Houston, we greatly miss Bubba Sartwell here at the show each year and the leadership that he's given to the show for so many years.
All right. So we are live. We're going to see what Iran thinks about the sound. We did try changing a microphone. Okay, it sounds like we're good. So I just want to say that we have in the March edition of the magazine, we have some articles about the Hall of Fame. We have some articles about the Hall of Fame inductions, the show dedications, a lot of just amazing articles in our March edition of the magazine. The Sartwell family have been good friends of mine for many years, since I've owned the Brahman Journal for the last 20 years. Bubba Sartwell was my go-to guy when I needed a lot of different kinds of information. When I needed information, for example, about F1 cattle, or if I needed information about the F1 program. I know that the Brahman Journal team really depended on Bubba Sartwell for a lot of things, as well as just talking cattle. So we certainly miss him. We really, really do. I know his family does tremendously. And so the fact that Bubba was inducted into the Hall of Fame, we certainly wish he could have been here. Certainly wish that. So, again, our hearts go out to them because Bubba's not here, but he's always going to be here in spirit. There will not be a Houston show I come to that I do not feel that he has made a huge presence. So now we're moving along, and I agree. Yes, Bubba was the F1 guru. I agree with that 100%, Miss Emily. Bubba was the F1 guru, and he even called himself that. So really a tremendous ambassador. We are now moved into, as we discussed, we've moved into back to class number 1. These are going to be July 1 through August 31 offspring. And so just for those of you that are maybe a little bit on the confused side about where we're going and what we're doing, what we do here in Houston, it's a little different than some of our other shows. We're just checking to make sure our microphone still sounds good. All sounds good? Good. All right. So at Houston, what we end up doing is we end up doing all of the red classes. We've got a little, there we go, all of the gray classes. Then we do the champions for that particular division. So that's where we're at right now. So we're back to class number 1, really large class. Again, the catalog is online. You can find it online. I'm not sure if there's a lot of catalogs in the barns. Not sure how many they printed, but the ABBA did have some. So we'll see how many bull catalogs we have for tomorrow. This is class number 1, gray summer heifer calves. Then we'll go back to those divisions for the red and then the gray. So let's talk just a little bit about let's see. Okay, so let's talk about who we're going to see when we come back for the reds. Let's talk about who we're going to see when we come back for the reds. Yes, ma'am. Externals?
Yeah, like I can just throw my pocket.
We do. Well, thank you, Dean Galbraith. I agree. We think that our March edition is probably the greatest issue ever. Lots of information for people, so thank you so much for saying that. I really appreciate that, Dean, and glad you could have an ad in there. We are excited. And of course, thank you guys for watching from all over the place. We have people watching us from Colombia, and I agree, Oscar or Cesar. Cesar is telling us that these are just excellent genetics. I agree 100%. And thank you, Neches Valley Ranch, for saying that the sound is good. We really appreciate it. And we've got Emily Otto. She is voting and rooting for Little Miss Magic. So Maddie, Little Miss Magic, a magic female, is in the arena. I'm not sure where she is, but I bet she's looking good. Is it for you? We can have some music now. We're just going to kick on a little music. All right, and so Dean Galbraith, he is watching from there in Missouri. He didn't make it to the show. Dean, we had some overs for you here, but he is watching from Missouri. Okay, yeah, we have. Are we music? We've lost a camera. Oh no, he's. So we will be coming back with, the rest of the grade classes. We'll go through the rest of the grade classes, and then we'll get back into the championship drives. So we're watching online right now. Let's see, we have number 900 up here at the front. Not 900, this is it? Okay, hold on just a second. We're gonna go back to some music. Music, please.
We're going to start this class off with the real fresh heifer, the August heifer. I think in relation to her age, I think she's the right condition. I think she's the right size. I think she's going to be all right in terms of just being a nice heifer. And as she progresses and grows, she's not too fat. But you look at her at a skeletal standpoint, and she's really nice in her lines. She's really nice in her angles, really nice up front. When you put her into motion, she's fine. She's still just green. But I think she's got a lot of nice moving pieces to her, and I think she's got a bright future ahead of her. She just puts a lot of good things together. heifer we've got coming next is a heavier capacity heifer who's really deep in her heart, maintains that depth all the way through. Standing behind her, she's open there in the center portion of her rib, and you really appreciate that about her. Real nice dark pigmented. Probably as we compare to the heifer ahead of her in relation to her frame size, maybe stretch her out just a little bit there in her rib, maybe level her up just her hip, excuse me, hip just a little bit. And then we've got here in third, extremely long-bodied heifer. Of the top four that we've got up here, that heifer in relation to her frame size is extremely long-bodied, and I really like that. But to go with that added length, I'd like to see just a little more openness right there in her flank, maybe a little fuller, but I like the correct condition that she's in for this age, but super feminine, super long-bodied. Then we've got a real nice, complete, dark-colored heifer coming next. Probably doesn't have quite the overall power as the two that stand ahead of her, but she's really complete. She's really nice in her joints. She's nice in her angles. Probably just correct her just a little bit there at her mouth, but other than that, I think she's fairly complete. And then we got a white heifer here that's a big outlined heifer. She's nice and strong topped. Probably gets a little flatter when you get in behind her, but a nice class throughout to start the gray show.
Thank you very much, Judge.
Okay, so in class number one, congratulations, Isaac Duhan. Huge win in a big class. That was 007 Lucy Annie Manso, and that is going to be a JDH Mr. Hero Manso daughter out of HSD LA. 23/8. So congratulations to Isaac Duhan. For those of you who don't know, when I very first bought the magazine, my very first person that I hired that helped me was Isaac's dad, Josh. So Josh Duhan worked with us before Isaac was even born, and he is still Team Brahman Journal all the way. So we have a Team Brahman Journal member, basically, even if he is an alumni, winning in that class number one. And then in second in class number one, big shout out to Circle L Cattle. Circle L Cattle, that female was going to be owned by Addie Grace Lovell, and that is going to be Miss CE 11/21. It was going to be bred by CE Cattle, so Chad Eden, I bet you're watching and very excited about that. And that is going to be a Mr. V8 137/8 daughter out of Miss 4K 773. So congratulations, guys, to first and second in that class number one. All right, so we are in class number 2. And thank you so much. We were a little preoccupied with some trouble with the sound. So, and thank you for telling us we're doing a great job. We always love to know when we do a good job. So thank you so much. And Emily Otto, thank you for letting us know. And you are part of the team. So good job and good to know. This is a huge, huge class, y'all. So it is really, really hard to do anything with this class at this moment in time. So we're going to see if we can get Gannon over this way. And
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a very large class.
Does he not hear you? Gannon's moving this way, yes? Okay. Anyway, so just want to say thank you guys for watching us and letting us know where you're watching from. Wow, largest class of the day. So if you ended up staying in, that is a huge deal. Very, very exciting. If you made it in the cut, that is a super cool deal. So very excited. Alrighty. We're coming out with the cattle that are coming out, and Mandy, we agree. We miss you being here too. Mandy Chambers, this is like one of the first years she has missed the show. And next year, I know you guys will be there, so I appreciate it. But y'all are there in spirit, and y'all are helping us online. So have a lot of people working remotely. We have Emily Otto keeping us on track. We have Mandy Chambers, the marvelous Mandy. Everybody, Mandy, just brags on what a great job you do. Maciel is absolutely fantastic. Maciel is there in Nicaragua. And hey, Mandy, let's get up a little post about the fact that we already have all of our class winners on our Instagram page. So maybe we could put a link up in the comments and let people know that all of our class winner photos are on our Instagram page. Super excited about that. We probably need to keep telling people to go visit the Instagram page. When you go and you see the Instagram page, you will get to see all of the class winner photos. That is something that we're trying to do for you guys to make sure that we can zoom in a little bit there. Perfect, awesome. We want to let you guys know Instagram is our friend. So, hey Maciel, thanks. Maciel is over there doing all the Instagram posting. So Maciel, if you wouldn't mind dropping a link into our Instagram page, you are doing a spectacular job. How many classes have you gotten through, Maciel, on the Instagram page? Oh, well, on our Instagram. Yeah, on our Instagram. I think they're getting all the photos up, and Miss Alyssa and Miss Brandolyn are doing just an amazing job. When you guys see all these class win photos, it is amazing. So we just need to keep letting everybody know that they are going to get to see all of our class winners. All the class winners are on our Instagram page. Go there, like them, give us a little heart, give us a little love, show us something good. All the reds. Okay, let's get that Instagram link up. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you, Maciel. There is that link to the Instagram page. So we want to put that up. And then, oh my Lord, look at that. We have so many beautiful photos on our Instagram page. And then let's go ahead and take that down. Maybe one of you girls, maybe Maciel or maybe Miss Mandy, could type in there that all our class winners are on our Instagram page. We're going to let Iran get around behind me so he can fix some things here. There we go. Thank you guys so much. I just have the best team ever. Best team ever. And not 100% sure which camera is live, but it looks like it's Gannon, and he's doing a great job. I'm home alone with the cameras, which is always kind of a scary sight. Always kind of makes you just a little nervous when I'm home alone on the camera. There you go. And Brad, I agree. It is really nice, and thank you to all of our sponsors. Thank you to those 4 sponsors that are keeping us in the arena, because without them, we could not be here. This was a little bit of an expensive trip here. Our internet bill was really high, but we've got it all worked out, and we think it is going well. So thank you, Brad, for saying shout out to all those great sponsors. And thank you guys, everyone, for watching from all over the world. I don't know if you need. We're going to go to a little music now.
Class of heifers from end to end, and we let a whole lot of good ones walk on out the door. I'm going to start the class off with, we got a set of 3 heifers up here that I think that are really correct in the amount of condition that they carry for their age. I think they're moderate enough for me, and I think they put a lot of style and bring a lot of good things together. The heifer that I'm going to start out with is the long-bodied heifer big topped heifer, big ended heifer when you stand in behind her. She's got some expression to her, and I sure appreciate that about her. I think she's got just the right amount of bone for her frame size. Really nice and breed character in terms of hump placement. I'll be the first to admit I'd like to see her a little darker in her pigment up around her nose, but this heifer puts a lot of good things together, and pigment's an easy thing to fix, like that strength of top that she has and that just overall look. Another real attractive heifer coming next, a heifer that, as we compare to the heifer ahead of her, maybe gets a little flatter in her muscle design over her loin and maybe from behind, but when she stands off beside of her, she gives you a real striking look, and you appreciate that about her. Then we have a little moderate framed heifer coming in third, a heifer that you love the capacity that she has, the turn and the rib shape that she has. That's where she excels in this top three. She's got the body, she's got the capacity. Probably like to balance her up just a little better, make her a little more open there in her heart girth, but I love the rib, I love the hind quarter on that heifer. Then we've got another really nice, fresh kind of heifer that's very youthful in her design. A heifer's can't, no really big holes in her. Probably just want to level her out of her hip and stretch her just a little bit as we compare her to the heifers ahead of her. But I think she's fairly complete. Then we've got another nice little red tinged heifer coming that you love the depth of body that she's got. Just gets a little flatter and plainer in her overall design as we compare her to the heifers ahead of her. But like I said, overall, it's a really nice class all the way throughout. Congratulations.
All right, so that was a huge, huge class. As Miss Mandy said, it goes on for 6 pages. Shout out to one of our sponsors. That was Heritage Cattle Company. Heritage Cattle Company won with their Lady H, Naomi Manso, 5'11/1. That is going to be a Mr. H, Pride of a Maddox Manso. I'm going to say that that is probably the first Pride of Maddox Manso baby to show. So excited for them. I love that bull. I think we'll be seeing him later today. And that's going to be a Mr. H Pride of Maddox Manso daughter out of Miss V8 666/6. And then in second place, we had 543, if you're following along with the catalog. 543 was second. That was going to be Miss V8 519/9. That is going to be a Mr. V8 458/7. That's, of course, Noble. That's going to be a Noble daughter out of Miss V8 162/8. So congratulations to you guys. That was really, really great. And again, we have Team Heritage on top. Team Heritage was on top. And in second, we had the V8 entry. Again, we just have to keep telling you guys, thank you, thank you, thank you for all that you do to get us here, our sponsors, and that of course is Heritage Cattle Company, as you can see across the bottom of the screen. That's Heritage Cattle, that is one of our sponsors. And of course, we have 3 more. We have Little Pecan. So we have Little Pecan Cattle. Little Pecan Cattle is one of our sponsors. They're here in the barns. Please stop by their booth and thank them for helping us be in the arena. Elgin Breeding Service, and of course Miami International. So thanks guys, and congratulations to all the winners. We're going to talk to Rachel. Rachel, how are you doing? You are cheering them on. Okay, we love to see everybody saying congratulations, huge classes, and a little bit of cheering on too. So that is awesome. We're moving into class number 3. Are we on class 3? Perfect. Trying to keep up, guys. It's a lot going on back here at the Brahman Journal station back at the corner of the arena. You can find us in the corner of the arena, literally. We're like in a little table. We have our power. We're super pumped. We're having a really good time. So yay. So I have a lovely Heritage Cattle person, Team Heritage. They're taking care of my coffee needs. And when my coffee comes back, I'm going to ask that question because I really want to know. Inquiring minds want to know if that is the very first Mr. H Pride of Maddox Manso offspring to be able to show, because he, I think, is showing here. So that would be really interesting to find out. So we're real excited to be here, guys. And yes, I agree. Absolutely amazing photos. Everyone is just shouting out about our photos. Don't forget, go to Instagram. We wish you were here too, Kirsten. We really, really do. It would be wonderful if you were, but we will look forward to seeing you at another event soon, maybe. Thanks for shouting out to us, guys, and letting us know who you're loving, what you're enjoying, and where you're watching from. Another really big class, really big class.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate the help from our Junior Brahman Association officers and directors assisting in the arena. Always appreciate the help they provide.
How are you? So I'm back in my little cubby hole watching, and Alyssa, I was like really impressed. Alyssa, what just happened in the ring?
We had a heifer that got just a little bit excited to be on the green shavings, and she got away from the person that was showing her, and she came straight to me. I guess she just wanted to come and like get her picture taken.
She did. She saw you with the camera and thought, hey, take me.
Yeah. So I set my camera down with HC that works for the ABBA, and
smart.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say smart, good move.
Put
We
him in
taught her
charge.
well. Put the camera down first.
And just grabbed the heifer, and she was calm as could be, and now she's back out there doing her job.
Right. Well, you know what? We got to make sure we get a photo of that calf.
Yeah.
Because she wants to be on our Instagram page whether she wins or not.
Exactly.
Okay? So we'll get a photo, and thank you, Alyssa, for the save. Thank you, all of you guys, for showing us so much love and watching the live stream. We really appreciate it. You know, you will be able to watch it after the fact, too. So don't forget. Oh, wait. I have a question for you. So I'm going to hold up this microphone just a smidgy. No, I have a question. So Mr. H, Pride of Maddox, Manso, what? Yeah. So was that his very first offspring showing? I've got Aaron. Like, no, you don't know? She doesn't know.
I think, yeah.
I think so. It would have to be. It was class 2.
Yes, class 2.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, exactly. And isn't he here? Isn't he going to show, or is he done showing?
Done showing.
Oh, darn.
His full
Darn.
sib,
Malone is, I did not realize Malone was his full sib. I'm not sure if y'all can hear this, but Malone, the full sib. Okay, the Pride Bull is finished showing. That was some of his first offspring, I would think.
His sibling Nala will
Uh-huh.
be showing this
Oh,
afternoon.
wow. Oh,
Yes.
yeah. Y'all have had a good show already, and we'll just keep it moving along. And thank you
Vicky.
again, Team Heritage. They've done just a tremendous job keeping us in the ring. And Vicky and Coffee. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we are cutting this class down. Again, we are in class number 3, and it is just going to get, we're going to get that class just a little bit smaller so that we can have that judge. That judge has just gone through and picked out which ones he wants to, trying to get rid of a few things on my screen here so I can see what I'm doing. There we go. Hey, Mandy. Oh, wow. Mandy thinks I'm doing good. Yay. I always like that. That helps a lot. So. And are we listening to some music or are we hanging out with me? We're hanging out with me. Okay, that sounds good. I think that the girls need to try to get some footage. Maybe we could even turn around and get some footage later of the crowd. Maybe we could do that even now. Let's see if we can get like a little footage or if we're too low. Are we too low? I bet you I can hang. I bet you I can climb up here and we can get some footage. What do you think? You thinking we can? Uh-huh. Yep.
And then we're gonna try.
Here.
Oh, you are the next one.
Okay. Can we put it back in my pocket, you think? Or was it a problem? Are we music or are we like we're talking? Oh, good. Awesome. Great to know. Okay. All right, guys, I have climbed up on the screen and looky here, looky here. You think that Houston is just a little bit crowded? I think so. I think we certainly are. We're pretty crowded. So we're going to get off with me on this camera. Hello. Off on this camera. All right. I'm going to climb over. Hold that. I'm going to climb over and then walk over. That'll be cool if it works.
We have 90 feet to go.
I can go right in here, right? Okay. Are we ready? Okay, we're going to give this girl, whoops, and see how it works because my finger was in the way. We have Moreno. We have Mom V8, show us some love. We're live. We are live. I'm showing everybody. This could get really interesting. All right, we're walking through, walking, and from Mexico, everybody from Mexico live showing us.
Yes, all the way through, and like before, we let a lot of nice ones leave the arena, and try to give everybody a good look, but still, in the essence of time, try to work as quick as I can, but do a quality job giving everybody a nice look. The heifer that we start with in this class is the super eye-appealing heifer, the one that's real striking from the side, a heifer that when this young lady gets her put together and stopped, gives you a real nice profile. She's really long and extended out of her spine, really long and extended out through her front end, and has a really nice, elegant head. I appreciate the breed character that she has in terms of that hump sitting right above her shoulder. I like the extra pigment that she has and the added length, and I think she's pretty fresh in her conditioning considering her age. That's probably where she gets around the heifer next. Now, this is the high-volume heifer in the class. She's the big-ribbed heifer in the class. You stand in behind her, and she's pretty stout. At this age, she's probably starting to get a little heavy in her condition for my taste, but I like the moderation of frame. I like the overall capacity, and I like the soundness and the way she gets around the ring. This young man does a really nice job putting her together. Then of our top three, we've got the heifer that's probably the least performing heifer of the top three, but I think she's sound. I think she's nice in her joints. I think she's just a real complete heifer. But as we compare her to the two heifers ahead of her, like I said, not quite as much power and maybe just a little bit plainer up front. But I think she's got a lot of nice pieces. The heifer we've got next has got brood cow written all over. You love the depth of the rib that she has. You love the openness there in the center portion of her body. She's really big and expressive there in her top. However, when you set her into motion, she wants to get a little more relaxed on those rear pasterns. And then we'd sure like to change that about her, but a real nice cow prospect. Another deep-sided heifer, but gets a little off in her balance, probably open her up right there in her heart girth. And then we round out the next heifer we've got here. I love the muscle and the bone that she has, just gets a little less feminine up front, wants to get her a little chunkier there in her shoulder, but a nice class that we have here.
Okay, I have coffee. I'm ready to go. Let's talk who won. In first place, we have Miss 5H Harper, 6/1. That is going to be Bryn Harris. Of course, the exhibitor, it says Walter's livestock, but I know that was not necessarily on the, let's see if the sound is okay. Are we okay? All right, we're kind of getting that microphone out of my pocket, because when it's in my pocket, it kind of makes a little rattly noise. Sorry about that, guys. So that was Miss Bryn Harris showing her Miss 5H Harper, 6/1. Huge shout out. That's going to be a Mr. BER 427 daughter. That, of course, is Trump. That is for those of you who aren't like big fans of numbers and just like to stick with names. And she is out of Miss 5H Aspen 4/7. So that is going to be Bullseye Ranch breeding on the top, and of course that 5H. So congratulations to Bryn as the breeder. And then in second place, we had Isaac of that 007 ranch. Of course, he's kind of an alum of Team Brahman Journal, since Josh Duhan, his dad, worked for us. He was our very first field representative when I very first bought the magazine back in 2002. The magazine is 50 years old now, guys. 50 years. I haven't owned it that long. I'm not quite that old, almost. And so Isaac was leading the Miss North 4047. That is going to be bred by North 40 Ranch, but exhibited by Isaac Duhan. That's going to be a JDH Mr. Hero Manso. And I believe his class winner in that very first class is going to be kind of bred that same sort of way. I'm flipping back on my book to see what I see there. Absolutely, that also was a JDH Mr. Hero Manso daughter, and that is out of Miss V8 526/8. So congratulations to first and second in that very big, very hard class. We'll get to a little music as we move into class number 4. Class number 4 is going to be heifer calves born from March 1st through March 31st. Little music, maestro.
class, I think she does so fairly easily. I think a heifer that's extremely elegant when you step off from the side of her in terms of eye appeal. She's nicely balanced. A heifer that's got plenty of muscle shape, plenty of bone, and when she asks her to move, she does so very easily. She just puts a lot of good things together. If I'm going to pick on her just a little bit, maybe move her hump back over her shoulder just a little bit, but I think that's a pretty nice heifer. The one we've got coming next is another one of those real complete kind of heifers, but where she gets ahead of the two heifers behind her is that added rib she's got in her. A heifer that's really nice in her hump placement right there above, right there sitting over the top of her shoulder. A heifer that's got some volume to her, but she does have that added length of body that I like as compared to the two heifers behind her. Just a nice complete heifer. That heifer that comes next, let's see, this one right here was third. Heifer that come next is another one of those complete type heifers, but like I said, compared to the two heifers ahead of her, probably just like to stretch her out just a little bit, and she wants to come together at her hocks when you stand in there behind her. But a nice complete heifer that's got plenty of clean joints to her and just a real complete one. Next one we've got next, you like the functionality of this heifer, you like the doability of her. She's easy fleshing, she's smooth, not the heaviest boned heifer. In fact, of the top few heifers up here, you'd probably like to stouten her up in her bone work, stouten her up in her overall muscle design, but you can't really pick a big hole in her. You just like a little more of her, and I think she's a nice complete one. Then we round out these top five up here with the growthy heifer, the one that's got lots of performance to her. She's big muscled when you're over the top of her and behind her, but a heifer that gets a little off in her elevation in terms of the height of her hip and the altitude of her shoulder there, but she's got some power to her. Just like to straighten her up there over the top, maybe tone her down in her frame size just a little bit, but a nice group of a nice group of heifers all the way through.
All right, we just finished class number 4. So in first place in class number 4, we had 1136. 1136 is going to be, oh wow, Gracie. Yay, Gracie. Sorry. That's going to be SCS Miss Lisa Marie 40/1. That is huge. I bet Babe Scott is back there doing the happy birthday dance. So congratulations. 1136 was SCS Miss Lisa Marie 40/1. Scott Cattle Services, that's of course Babe Scott. Gracie Lambright is of course the owner. That's Scott Cattle Services, guys. Go visit them in the barn. She's been knocking it out of the park lately. That's going to be a Mr. V8 48/8 daughter out of SCS, which is Scott's Cattle Service, Miss Independence 7. So congratulations to Babe Scott. We'll have to go visit with him a little later today. Anything here at Houston is awesome. Just making the cuts is big, and winning any of these placings is just huge. Then in second place, we had Walters Monroe. Walters Monroe, which is going to be which is going to be a Mr. H. Breaker Manso daughter out of Miss RB 581/2. Sorry about that, guys. Either my eyes are getting old or the print's a little small. Anyway, so that was in second place. That was a Mr. H. Breaker Manso daughter. That was Walters Livestock all the way there. So that was second in that really large class. Shout out to Gracie and also to Walters Livestock.
Centerville, Texas. Congratulations to our top 10 females in class 4.
We're moving on now to class number 5. Class number 5, we're going to move into class number 5. We have 5 and 6 left, and then we will be moving into red division drive, and we are going to be moving into gray division drive. We're going to go and listen to a little music while we bring this class in, which again is another large class, and we will be back. I'm so glad that Mandy agrees that the print was a little small. Might be my fault. Okay. And then we have people watching from Brazil, which is super exciting. Thank you so much for watching from Brazil. And we'll even give you a little shout out for your website, which, nope, we're not going to do that. Okie dokie. Alrighty, we're going to remove that, not a problem. So we are here in the arena on Facebook Live. Do not forget that all of our photos for the class winners, those class winners, you guys stay tuned. Class winner photos are on our Instagram. Class winners on our Instagram page. I got that removed, no problem. Instagram has all the winner photos. Class winners. We're doing all the class winners, and we're putting just, because it's, you know, a lot to do, and we're kind of a small team, a lot to do. What we are doing is we are just posting class winner and the name, and I believe the name of the exhibitor. So Instagram has all the class winner photos in real time. So go over to our Instagram page, and then they'll be back up on Facebook later. Yep, and we're just double team tagging there, Miss Mandy. And we have Aunt Mimi is shouting out, and also shouting out to Cody Stallnaker. Hope I'm saying your name right, Cody. Your Aunt Mimi loves you, and she's saying good luck. We're gonna just take care of that, no problem. Actually, Hazel, we're just going to respond to you. We're not going to put your comment up on the screen. But Hazel, I don't really think they are related, because Brandon would be a in-law, and I think it's a direct relation. I'm not really sure how that works, but I would suggest that you probably visit with somebody who knows the rules, because I would imagine they were pretty careful to make sure all the rules were followed. I think that Brandon has been doing just a tremendous job in the judging, and I think that everyone is really enjoying this show. We know that there's a lot of people here, so we are glad to be here too.
Thanks to you exhibitors being dismissed at this time. Appreciate all of the efforts that you had.
Hi everybody, Victoria Lambert here with the Brahman Journal, and I was able to wrangle up some of my guys from Florida, and now Kelvin's from Texas too. But this is Senator Soto from Florida on my right, and I have Kelvin on my left, and they are deeply, deeply involved in the Miami International Show. So Senator, we would like to give us a little shout out to all to come to the show.
Everyone is invited. Everyone can come. The
one that fits the most good pieces together, and I think the most complete heifer of the class is the heifer that this young lady's leading right here. I think she's just an all-around nice heifer. She's not the EST of anything. She's not the biggest bone, not necessarily the heaviest muscled, but I think she puts a lot of good pieces together, and she does so with nice breed character and an attractive package when you step off beside of her. I think she's modern enough in her frame size, and I think she's clean enough underline. Just a nice heifer. Congratulations, young lady. The next two heifers we've got coming are the more performance-oriented heifers in the class in terms of growth and overall muscle and design. So these are to be the two of the bigger topped heifers that are expressive down their loins, two of the thicker-ended heifers. Probably of each heifer I'd like to drop them in their flanks just a little bit, but I'm going to use this heifer right here as she gives us just a little extra length of body between the two heifers. But I like the bone, I like the power, maybe tone them down in their frame size just a little bit. Then we've got a real nice attractive heifer coming next. I just don't know if there's quite enough heifer there. She gets a little outsized today with all the heifers ahead of her. And then the heifer coming next that we've got here, another one of those real complete heifers, maybe just a little plainer in her overall design, a little flatter in her shoulder, but she puts a lot of good things together. Congratulations.
Hi everybody, Victoria Lambert here with the Brahman Journal, and I was able to wrangle up some of my guys from Florida, and now Kelvin's from Texas too. But this is Senator Soto from Florida on my right, and I have Kelvin on my left, and they are deeply, deeply involved in the Miami International Show. So Senator, we would like to give us a little shout out to all to come to the show.
Everyone is invited. Everyone can come. The entrance is free. You can bring friends. You can bring, of course, we are very generous with the premiums, the things that Kelvin Moreno will talk about that. Miami is kind of a city where everyone is invited to come into this place. It's the capital of Central America, South America, the Caribbean, capital of Latin America. Everyone is welcome. We always want to show you all the best we have in Miami, all the probably best food of the area.
I agree, absolutely. It's amazing.
Best shows. We have all kinds of things in Miami. Everyone's invited.
Lots to do there.
Come and visit, and you'll be happy.
You will, absolutely. Kelvin, tell us a little bit about the show. So I know it is from April 8th through the 10th, and it has a really great schedule, and Kelvin is the manager of the show. There's also a sale that's involved. Give us a little information.
Yeah, Vicky, we're excited, like the senator said, we're excited to this has been, like you were saying earlier, a big passion of the senator to bring this kind of quality event to Miami-Dade.
Okay, so in that last class, first place, this is class number 5, first place, congratulations to Bianca R. and Sira. I might be saying the name wrong, might be saying it all wrong. Sorry, breeder was HM Cattle Company, we know that. HM Cattle Co. was the breeder. Los Sandiales de San Jose is the owner, and the exhibitor was Bianca. So come tell me how to say your last name, and I'll do a better job next time. And that was AEV Miss Brenna 47. That is going to be a Mr. V8 279 over 7 daughter, and of course that's that pole bull out of Miss AA 245 over 1. So that was first. And in second place we had Entry number 585. 585, and my pen doesn't work, so I need another one. One of those blue ones work. That'll work. Let's give this a whirl. Okay, so the 585 was second. 585 was second. That's going to be CT Lady Jessie Manso. That's going to be, again, another Trump daughter. Another Trump daughter. So again, Bullseye Ranch breeding in there. And that is going to be CT Lady Riley Manso, was the dam of our second place, which was CT Lady Jessie Manso. The exhibitor is going to be Broussard Cattle. Broussard Cattle, Circle T did the breeding, and Jacob Broussard. I'm not really sure, I can't remember who was on the stick. I was busy doing a little moving of the camera moment, so we'll just have to see. So we are now moving into class number 6. Into class number 6. Oh, Anton, you're there in South Africa. We are glad to see you joining us. What time is it there in South Africa? And also, Anton is telling us that the Moreno heifer is one hell of a heifer. There is a little delay, and so we're not really sure which Moreno heifer we're looking at. But yes, we agree that Moreno has had some tremendous cattle here and has done really well. So again, really excited to be here in Houston and glad all of our friends are watching with us. We're trying to see if our sound is good. Good. Oh, and then we'll sure all our batteries are charged and everything. Okay, let's go.
Does a lot of good things. When you look at this heifer, she just screams Brahman. Love the breed character. Heifer, plenty of shape to her, capacity for her frame size, and just puts everything together really nicely. She stands on a good amount of bone. Heifer, might darken her up in her nose just a hair, but other than that, that's a pretty powerful heifer there that's got a lot of American Brahman breed character, and I really appreciate that about her. The blue colored heifer we've got coming next is real expressive down her top. You stand behind her, she's extremely wide based and wide from stifle to stifle. You just love the muscle that she has. Not quite the overall style as the heifer that wins the class, maybe not quite the overall bone, but a heifer that's pretty complete, clean in her joints. Maybe like to make her a little less round out of her hip, a little less round out of her shoulder, but I don't think she's bad enough to knock her too bad for it, because she's just a really nice heifer that this young man's done a nice job putting together. The red tinged heifer we've got coming next, another one of those real complete heifers. I like the functionality of her. I like how clean she is in her joint, the way she lays in at the angle of her shoulder, and got a nice angle to her hind leg. Probably starting to get a little, she's a little more moderate type heifer, and that conditioning is starting to catch up with her just a little bit, but I think that's a pretty nice complete heifer. Congratulations. The next heifer we've got here, another feminine, nice heifer that's really clean about her joints and extremely functional. I love how clean she is underneath. A heifer that, as we compare to the heifers that precede her, maybe like to give her a little more capacity, a little more openness of rib there, but I think she's really nice and complete and sound. Then we round out these top few up here with this heifer that is really nice in terms of breed character. I think she's got plenty of pigment, really nice in her hump placement, probably just getting a little over in her condition for my taste. And then we round out the heifers that probably just don't have quite enough to them, maybe like to change them the way they travel off their hind legs, but a nice class through and through.
All right. Actually, that was 13:58 in second. 13:58. I'm letting my team know in second. That was 13:58. Okay, so in first we had entry number 644. That is going to be Lady H. Lisa Manso, 476. That is a heritage female. She is sired by BRC Dutton, 376, and out of the very famous and awesome Lady H. Lisa Manso, 947/7. That female will give you some stats on here in just a little bit. And then in second we had 13:58. 13:58. That's going to be Lady H. Pizzazz Manso, 477/1. And that female is also going to be. That's correct. That's first. Yeah, that was first. That was the Lady H. Lisa Manso. And then in second we had another Dutton daughter. That's going to be out of Lady H. Nora Manso. So congratulations. The exhibitor on that one was Carson Rabb. Carson Rabb is the owner also. So congratulations to first and second in that class. And we're going to go to some music right now. What'd they say? Okay, so we had a little poopa, and we weren't talking the cattle. I thought everyone was listening. So in the very first class, we had the PCC Ray of Hope. That is going to be Philip Cattle Company. That's the one that is the littlest one out of the first class. And second in that class, on the far side, is going to be KF Reese Rojo. Then in the second class, we had in first place, we had the Santa Elena entry. That's going to be BL Elena 60/1. That's a BL Rojo Whiskey Daughter. And in second place, we had the SCC, that's the Scanlon Cattle Company, SCC Miss Clonette. That's going to be a Mr. V8 279/7 daughter. In that third class, in class number 3, our first place is going to be our first place is going to be Miss WCC Olga, I think. Yes, we have Stuart Watkins on the stick there. He was first with his Mr. H. Oxford Rojo daughter, and in the second place was the Miss Rafter T99. Then we get the judge is getting ready to talk, so we're going to listen to him. He has to
in
say.
our red calf division, from the youngest all the way through the oldest class up here. You know, I feel like we've seen some similarities in a lot of these heifers. There's heifers that are from through and through, I think, for their age, they're fresh in their conditioning. I think they're the right, kind of the right frame size for us as they kind of gradually go up as we see them. And I think all of them, they're plenty feminine enough and plenty eye appealing enough, you know, we've got to stouten them up a little too. I'm going to go out here and make your calf champion selection. I think we've got several pretty nice ones to choose from. I'm going to go out here and pick the one I like.
And out of class number 5, we are going to have the Moreno entry out of class number 5. So we have the DB Southern Style female coming in for reserve consideration. In calf champion was Moreno, Miss Lady Ricache, and in the Brandon is moving along, looking at what he wants to go to as far as the reserve calf. He's walking up towards that top, and it looks like he is picking, reserve champion is going to come out of class 1. Reserve champion out of class 1. So we have Moreno Miss Lady Ricache in first, and that is the calf champion. And then calf champion was that one, and reserve calf champion was PCC Ray of Hope. Let me see if I can get Mr. Kelvin. Mr. Kelvin, would you mind joining me here for just a momentito? So Kelvin, a momentito. So Kelvin is not on camera with me, but he is here by my little cubbyhole. So Kelvin, how was that? Calf champion.
Thank you, Vicky. First and foremost, I want to say, I want to say thank you for covering a great job. We're very humbled and honored to have been calf champion with a Rockstar daughter.
Yeah, that is really cool. And just to point out to everybody, Rockstar made it into the Register of Renown just this year, did he not?
He did.
Yes, he did.
It was the highest point in the Reds, and we appreciate you highlighting that in the magazine.
Excellent. We're really excited you guys here. We'll just have to stop by the Moreno booth. I imagine there'll be a little partying going on. It's still a long day. I'm sure there'll be a lot to come.
I'm a bottle of water.
Always, absolutely. Thank you. All right, so now
Danbury, Texas. Your class 5, represented by entry 1305 from Los Angeles de San Jose of Edinburgh, their female Miss Brianna. And the class 6, representative entry 644 from Heritage Cattle Company with Lady H, Lisa Manso. We also have our second place winners in the event they're needing to be moved up for reserve consideration, representing Class 1. Our second place there was entry 594, Addie Grace Lovell, showing Miss CE 1/21 from Franklin. Second place in Class 2 was entry 543, Hayden Engelke from Wardham, Texas, showing Miss V8 519/9. Your third place, Class 3 representative, second place winner there, 711, Isaac Duhan of Arlington, Angleton, Texas, showing Miss North 4047. Second place out of Class 47 was 1315 from Walters Livestock, exhibiting for Walter Moore. And second place out of Class 5 was entry 585, Broussard Cattle Company's entry there from Easterwood, Louisiana, showing CT Lady Jessie Manzo. And representing the second place in Class 6 was 1358, Carson Robb of Weatherford, Texas, the exhibitor, showing Lady H. Pisa Manso. Great lineup. Let's give them a big round of applause. Your contenders for the Junior Championship out here in the arena at this time.
We made it through a lot of those gray heifers in this calf division, but I think we wound up where we needed to be. I think the heifers that we've got out here are sound enough. I think they're pretty functional enough. And, and just like we talked about the red heifers, I think they're in good enough condition. And they're not over conditioned, but I think for their developmental stage, I think they're just right as they progress on along. There's one heifer out here that I think is pretty nice. It's going to be the oldest heifer up here. I think she's just a really nice, high-powered heifer that's got a lot of Brahman breed character, and I think she could go anywhere and make a nice female and a replacement in a herd. Congratulations to you.
And ladies and gentlemen, your calf championship going to entry number 644 from Heritage Cattle Company with their female, Lady H. Lisa Manso, Heritage Cattle out of Hungerford. And we're moving up our second place there in Class 6, 1358, for consideration for the reserve honors.
Feel like it gets a little closer when we get the reserve out here. I think we got nice heifers all the way throughout, but to me, the one I like the best, she's a little bit different type than my calf champion, but the one that suits me the best in terms of soundness and overall muscle design and power, while still giving you a good look, is this young lady's female right here.
And ladies and gentlemen,
So
Class 5.
I think that Babe Scott is probably overwhelmed and super happy. He was just crowned. Congratulations, Gracie was just crowned reserve calf champion.
Reserve honors here. Champion out of.
Okay, so that was pretty exciting. So very exciting. So let's talk about who we had for our calf champion. Okay. So our calf champion was the Heritage female. Our calf champion was Lady H. Lisa Manso, 476/1. I believe she was out of that oldest class. I'm flipping through my book right now. I think, no. It was with Judd, right? So it was Lady H. Lisa Manso. She was going to be out of class number 6. So the class number 6 winner was the calf champion. Then coming out of one of the younger classes was our reserve calf champion. Of course, we just love Babe Scott and all that he does, and this has just been a fun ride for him. This is pretty amazing. I know that they're pretty excited. You did hear the screaming in the crowd. So, again, we're going to say that our calf champion was Lady H. Lisa, and Babe Scott came in with the reserve. We're going to go into a little bit of a break, and so we're going to shut down and restart.
operations to do at this time. And so